Hello friends, and this is Jasmine with JD Wax. I'm just here to show you what I have for sale. Today we have a whole bunch of Tree of Lives, and they're all made of real stones. We have them on all different sizes. This right here is a citrine stone gold tree. And this I think is the 3-inch one. I normally sell these for like 25 bucks. The small ones, these are the 1-inch ones that make better pendants than any of the bigger ones. But some people like the bigger ones. This one is amethyst and gold. I also have a turquoise and lapis. I sell these for $15. Here's one that's hematite. A silver tree on a gold ring, hematite. I have peridot. The peridot ones sell really well. There we go. Then we have carnelian. This one is red coral and I think blue mucilite. This is a 3-inch one for $25. This one's the same red coral and blue mucilite, but this one's a 2-inch one because some people like a little bit bigger but not too much. There's another peridot. This one has more stones on it. Some people like the fuller effect, some people like the skinnier ones. The ones that don't look as full. Here's another citrine one. This one's 2 inches. And here is a pearl one, and they were cut in a square bead, so it's like a squared off pearl. It'll focus. There we go. This one's howlite. Having a lot of trouble making it focus. And this one is quartz and hematite. Here's a garnet 1-inch. This one is a silver rose quartz tree. Let it focus. Man, the camera's having a lot of focusing issues today. Focus. There we go. Took a little longer than I expected. Here's another 1-inch amethyst. Another 1-inch hematite. This one is a 3-inch aquamarine. Also for $25. And again, some people like the tinier trees, how they look different. This one is a 3-inch brown and garnet tree. Then I have a lapis and hematite. This one was actually a custom for somebody and they just couldn't pay me. And then I have, well, this. I had tried to make the fairy off of Zelda. I think her name is Navi. And that's what I came up with. It's made out of marble and just silver wire. This is moonstone. Gold moonstone tree. 1 inch. Now this one is abalone shell and beads. I thought they looked really nice together. They were the leftovers from a couple of stone, I guess, well, shell beads that I had left over, and some regular beads I got from the store from a couple of other projects. This one is another one of the ones that were just leftover beads from other projects, and I thought it turned out pretty well. All the colors is amethyst and rose quartz, regular quartz, probably like a fluorite, and of course carnelian's in there too. Now this one, this is my first all bead one. I thought it looked kind of neat. This one is actually a 4-inch one, and it's all just faux pearls, but I still thought it looked pretty awesome when it came out. Now we can go on to the regular pendants. This is actually jasper. Normally I don't wrap jaspers, and this one was drilled at the very top. And normally if a pendant is drilled, I normally don't use it because I like the solid rock. On it. But I absolutely adored the pattern on this, so I just had to make it into a pendant. This, I actually bought the locket like this, so that one's not mine. But I did do the Komohimu braiding. I just polished it off with some blue agate beads and a clasp. There we go. I thought it turned out fantastic. This one was my first Komohimu braid that I've ever done. This I found at Pahaska's, which is a local store in Dresden. And this is a banded agate pillbox. And I wire wrapped it to be a pendant. Made it into like an almost locket. And I thought it was gorgeous. This snaps together. It was beautiful. Beautiful. Now that we're done with this one, let's go ahead and move on to the next case. Of course I have my Dalek, because, you know, who doesn't have a Dalek? Actually, I'm just going to show off some of the other trees and stuff that I made. This has got to be, I think, 10 inches, if I'm not mistaken. I actually made this as like a type of sun catcher. It's made out of gold wire and rose quartz beads. And then I made this gem. This is my absolute favorite pendant of all time. It is a blue goldstone skull, and it has a halo that is a snake. I don't know if you guys can see that. This halo is a snake. And it also has bismuth and 2 Herkimer diamonds, and then hematite, pyrite, labradorite, and then I put a Pandora bead on there because, you know, who doesn't like Pandora beads? And then in between all of the crevices, those are actually garnet beads, garnet chips. There's the back of it. But this is my absolute favorite pendant. I don't think I will ever sell this thing just because I love it so much. Then I also make trees. This one is celestite, I think it's called. Celestite. And then I have it on a quartz crystal. I don't know if you guys can get a good look at that. And then I put it on a birch wood base. And of course the wire is always going to be like colored copper wire because I like using copper wire for whatever reason. And I finished it off with some moss. This one I had made for a friend's wedding, but I didn't get it done in time for the friend's wedding. So I ended up giving him one of my other trees. And it's made out of hematite and, starts with an A, aventurine. And then I twisted black metallic wire and green wire, both copper colored, copper colored wire, because it's copper underneath, not the color of copper. But then underneath it I had put I think it's called some kind of quartz, an aura quartz, I think that one's called. I don't know if I can get a better shot of it. And then I put an orange carnelian elephant on there. Because I went through a phase where I went and bought a whole bunch of like carnelian elephants and rose quartz elephants and amethyst elephants, and then I didn't know what to do with them. I just really liked them, so I got them. And of course I finished off with some moss and put it on a birch base. It's one of my favorite trees that I made so far. This is my other favorite tree I made. I had gotten this thing, guess it's a cage, at a yard sale, and I just fell in love with it. I didn't know what I was going to do with it, but the longer I kept it around, the longer I was like, I have to use it with something. And so I put a actually colored copper tree in it with some hematite beads, and it's sitting on an amethyst chunk. I don't know if I can you see it in there? It's sitting on an amethyst. You might not be able to see it clearly, but that is amethyst. Oh no! And I put it on, there's a small birch base underneath here, but I did cover it all up with moss before I stuck it in here. I think this is probably like my absolute favorite tree so far that I have made. I don't know if it's the cage or what, but I just absolutely love it. Now this, it's a citrine tree. Sorry, getting my oranges mixed up. Citrine tree wrapped in blue colored copper wire, sitting on an amethyst base again, with some moss and on a birch base. I really like how this one turned out as well. Right? Then I also have this one. I've had this one. This is probably like one of the very first beaded trees that I've ever made. And these are all stone beads. Now, I'm not going to go through and tell you exactly what each and every single one of them are, but they came in a pack of just random circular beads that I had received. And then it's sitting on a labradorite base. It's kind of dusty. It's been sitting there for a while, you guys. Has moss, and this is actually a plywood base. It's the first tree that I ever put on a base, so I didn't know exactly what wood to use, so I used a plywood base for this one. So, oh my goodness, clearing off the workspace. Next, I had made this tree. This is my first big tree, you guys. It's probably about a foot tall, and it's all hematite on gold colored copper wire. Because I'm not going to use actual gold on these, or gold plated. I normally use those for my actual pendants that I make, like the one I showed you in the case. And again, this is also dusty because I should have probably dusted these before I started taping. And this is a I probably should have dusted these a little bit. But again, this is a smoky quartz. It's a hematite tree on a smoky quartz base. And of course it has moss, and it's on a wooden birch base. But that's what it looks like. And I'm very happy on how it came out. Especially since it really was my very first big tree. Now on to my second case. Alright, now on to my second case. What we have here is a butterfly with an amazonite, 4 raw amethyst, 2 lace agate, 2 banded agate, and at the very top in the antenna, there are 6 peridot stones. And then on here, and this one's all wrapped in gold-plated copper wire, because of course I love gold-plated copper wire. Right here I have a labradorite, and as far as I can see, there's nothing like special about this labradorite. You know how like sometimes they have pictures in them? Like I have one that looks like it has mountains in it. I had one that looked like there was a lady dancing in it. As far as I can see, I don't see anything in this labradorite. So this just might be one that I just wrapped just for fun. And it's wrapped in gold-plated copper wire. Here I have another amazonite, which it's actually the mate to the butterfly one, and that's also wrapped in gold-plated copper wire, and it looks like it has a silver tone bead at the very bottom of it right there. And then here are 2 of my very first gauge wrappings. I had bought this pair of owl gauges. I'm not sure if you can see them. See, there are a couple of owl gauges. And I wrapped one in gold-plated copper wire and the other in, I think, silver-toned copper wire. I don't think this one's sterling silver. It's probably non-tarnishable silver-toned wire. But I wrapped one in gold and one in silver, so that, you know, they could be given as like best friend like necklaces, or like a boyfriend-girlfriend necklace or whatever. Because one is in gold and one is in silver, and they kind of go hand in hand together. Then if we scoot down just a little bit, we have the start of what my seashell necklace is. I forget what the seashells are called. I have a feeling they start with an H. If you know, leave me a comment down below. And what I did, it's wrapped in gold-plated copper wire, but I just wrapped it in the crevice. And that's what I did with all of them. Have 4 here. Let me see if I can scoot this back. Oh no. There we go. Oh, there we go. Seeing there's 4 of them there. And here, this is an amethyst cab. And it also looks like it has a silver tone bead wrapped in gold-plated copper wire. This doesn't have any like special design or anything. Oh no. There we go. Just where it's been cut and zigzagged and stuff like that. Really pretty. And then if we just keep going down, what happened with this was it was on a piece given to me by Pahaskas in Dresden, and I just wire wrapped an amethyst tree on it. So there's our real amethyst. Let's see if I can get you in closer. There we go. And it does have these little hangy things on it, but the whole necklace comes together. And then down below are more Tree of Lives. This is a labradorite. You can see all the shine and stuff a little bit. Let's see if I can focus in. No, wrong way. There we go. So you can see kind of like the sparkle, like right there. This one is just a peridot. Get out of the light. There we go. Just a peridot. And then I'm just going to turn this around and we'll go from the bottom up. Because what this is, it's actually a sunglasses case, and I modified it and wire wrapped my trees and pendants into some styrofoam, and I pushed the styrofoam through the holes. And it's what anchors in my pendants. Here's another labradorite Tree of Life. This one is an aquamarine Tree of Life. It's brown colored copper wire. This is, of course, gold-plated copper wire. This is a peridot, gold-plated copper wire. A peridot, and this is actually just plain copper wire. I think this is one of my first trees up here. Oh no, there we go. This is one of my first trees, and this is actually not silver coated, gold-plated copper wire. This is just some wire I had laying around the house, so I think I'm gonna do that one cheaper than the other ones because it's not good wire, because it was one of the first ones I made. Because you can definitely tell between the gold-plated copper wire, because it's more like a gold color and like more vibrant and stuff. This one is kind of like duller, darker, and I just didn't like how that turned out, so I will price that differently than what I do on my regular gold-plated copper wire trees. But these are both carnelian. And then I also have this perfume bottle. If we can move it up a little bit. This perfume bottle was given to me by Pahaskas, again in Dresden. Pahaskas has supplied me with a lot of little knickknacks and things to wire wrap and put together, and I am very grateful to them. But this perfume bottle is just a perfume bottle. It's empty, so if you wanted to put perfume in it, you can. I did wire wrap it so that it could hold it. But if not, I think it's a pretty cool pendant if you didn't want to wire wrap, if you didn't want to put anything in it too. Or like some colored water. That might be cool. But I just put a wire tree on it, wrapped it around it. I thought it turned out pretty nice. Then I have, scoot it up a little bit. I have right here, this is what I call my Garden of Eden trees, because it's like the heart of God being wrapped in the tree, but it's the forbidden tree, so it has the apple on it. And I love how it turned out. And the apple is I think cat's eye. I think it's called just a cat's eye pendant, marble thing, whatever you want to call it, charm. And then the green is actually adventurine in the branches. And then that's just a red enameled charm that I had on a charm bracelet. So I just wire wrap that all together, and that's what it came out to be. This right next to it, these were all pieces given to me by Bahaska's. What it is a little white lamb. And this lamb is sitting right next to a bush. And I don't know if it was like broken off from like a bigger piece or if it was just like the little thing. I don't know. But it was really neat, so I took it. And then she was also getting ready to get rid of this like gutted out watch, and I was like, hey, I can make that into a pendant. So this is actually my very first resin piece, and what I did was I just put the little lamb figurine into the watch base, and I put peridot in it, so there is peridot in there to make it like green around there, to like make it almost like a green pasture sort of, or a green hill maybe. And then I put resin in it to hold it all together and solidify it. And I think it turned out pretty great because I actually wore this piece around for a while. And it did not break, did not come out. It was fantastic. Alright, Mono. Alright. Here's another one of the Garden of Eden trees that I made. This one is a 4-inch. And the one below it is a 3-inch. So if you're looking at like a pendant sort of thing, I would definitely recommend going to the 3-inch ones, because the 4-inch ones is more like a sun visor like thing, like a charm you put on a sun visor, or like maybe a like window thing, or a Christmas ornament, or whatever you want to make it into. So that's normally what I made those for. Now this one, I also wore this one around for a while too. This is a like ceramic shard. I don't want to call it a shard, but it looked almost like it was like a pin maybe. And the back had broken off, but it was a really, really nice piece. So I also got that from Pahaska's as well. Pahaska's in Dresden. And I took it and I wire wrapped it and turned it into a pendant, and that's what it came out to be, and it came out perfect. Now moving on up, there's another one of my can't remember the name of that shell. My goodness. Man, I really think it starts with an H. Don't know. But it has a saltwater pearl on the very bottom of it. So, oh no, and the top part thing kind of came off too. Oh well, I can fix that. That's no problem. And then, moving on. This is wrapped in non-tarnishable silver plated wire, non-tarnishable wire, silver colored non-tarnishable wire is what that's wrapped in, and it's a rose quartz cab, and that's just what I came up with. Now this is the labradorite that I said was the mountain labradorite. You remember what I said? Because like it looks like if you're looking across like an open field or something, and then at the very top there's two dark like triangles. It makes it look like you're looking across a field at mountains. So I call this my mountain labradorite, and it's wrapped in gold-plated copper wire as well. Love how it turned out. I just love it when I find a labradorite with a picture in it. It just brings the whole piece to like a whole nother level. Now this, I don't know if I can get a better shot of it. Lift it up a little bit. Here we go. Alright, this is a bismuth geode. I had wire wrapped this a while ago, but it's wrapped in gold-plated copper wire, and red colored copper wire. And that's just what it came out to be. Came out really great though. Moving on. Okay, this is just a Jasper cab that I got from one of my rock guys, and it's a really nice Jasper, and it's wrapped in gold-plated copper wire, and then I think silver tone non-tarnishable wire, because I was trying to play around with like the different colors and stuff, and I don't really like how this one turned out, guys. So I might be dropping the price on this one a little bit. And like the longer I look at it, the more I just don't like it. But I'm sure there's somebody out there that might want it. And then if you look over here, over to the side a little bit, I have I think this one's actually sterling silver, I think, if I'm not mistaken. But it has carnelian in the branches, because I wanted it to have like that fall feel, because you know, the fall with the harvest moon and everything, and I made the labradorite as like a harvest moon sort of thing. And anchoring the tree into place is a raw opal. So that is a raw opal in there, and I think it just came out beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And this was actually a Yvonne Williams tutorial. And you can always look her up because she's a better wire wrapper than I am, let me tell you. And she does a heck of a lot better videos. Especially since this is my very first one. Alright. And then if we move down just a little bit. Oh no. I have some peridot earrings that I wire wrap trees into. And that's what it came out to be. I got these earrings from Pahaska's, as per the usual. And right beside it, I used a gold-plated copper wire to wrap these. Right beside it are these two pendants I made. So I went through this really weird phase that I had to go and buy a whole bunch of like stone elephants. No idea why, but I just fell in love with stone elephants. And these two were marketed to me as moonstone elephants, so of course I had to jump on them because my favorite stone is a moonstone. And then when I got them, I realized they were not moonstone, they were opalite. And boy, was I mad. But on each one of these, I have Aura quartz. This one has a red, green, blue, pink, and this one is just all green. And of course, it's wrapped in gold-plated copper wire. Moving on down. Alright. This is my very first complicated piece. It's made out of gold-plated copper wire, of course, because why would you use anything else? And I have, let's see if I can, there we go. There's a better angle of it. Alright. It's made out of sodalite, and then it has 2 raw amethyst at the very top. It has a saltwater pearl, and then right along here and in between here, in between the coil and the amethyst, are all hematite. And then I have 2 quartz on either side. So 2 quartz, and then a quartz on top and a quartz on the bottom. Quartz on the bottom. And then I have amethyst beads on the bottom as well. And then I have these little cute feather charms that I had laying around the house, so I had to put them in there, because why not? And then, moving on, this is another one of the very first gauges I made. It's an octopus. I actually found these in a tattoo shop, and I absolutely fell in love with them. And it shocked everybody because I don't have gauged ears. I have no plans on ever gauging my ears. And when I started buying up all these gauges, it shocked everyone. And so I started wire wrapping them. Now anybody can wear gauges. And now everybody can wear gauges. So moving on. If I can get this to go down. What I have here is a couple of ammonite. Oh no. There we go. A couple of ammonite cabochons. I should say a few because I have 3 of them. All wrapped in gold-plated copper wire because of course it is. Why would you wrap it in anything else? I got these at one of them crystal shops in Columbus. I can't think of the name of it right this second, but I got it from one of the crystal shops in Columbus. This one, I think, is an agate, I want to say. And I got this one from my rock guy that lives in Granville. Not sure if he wants me to use his name or not, so I'm just not going to say it right now until I can get his permission. But I got this from my rock guy. And of course it's wrapped in gold-plated copper wire. And I absolutely fell in love with this piece. I'm actually not even sure if I want to sell this one or not. But to keep it nice and neat and everything, I just put it in my case so that I know where it is and can keep track of it. But that's one of my favorite stones that I have so far. And then this here, if I can get it, let's move it over like that and then back. There we go. This is, I assume, is abalone shell. And it's just a really big piece of shell. I actually got this whole necklace. If I can get this to go up. I got this whole necklace at Pahaska's, and it's made out of abalone shell and just other random shells. I'm not sure if these beads are pearls or if they're just beads. If you guys can help me and leave some tips on how to keep your camera focused when you're recording, please leave a comment down in the comment section, please, because I would love to figure that out. But I got it at Pahaska's, and I just decided to put a wire tree on it. And of course it's in gold-plated copper wire, because for whatever reason I love gold-plated copper wire. Here soon though, I'm actually going to start wrapping in actual gold, like 14 karat gold wire and sterling silver wire. And I have plans, that's all I'm going to do for all my jewelry, is I'm going to wrap in either gold or sterling silver wire. Because I want to basically up my game. But moving on. These over here in the corner. This is dyed howlite, and this is a green dyed howlite to make it look kind of like malachite, I guess. And then this is a blue dyed howlite. Now these came in like a kit. This was when I was first like getting into gemstones and like wanting to make pendants, but I didn't know how to wire wrap yet. And I ordered this kit, and it came with a whole bunch of these. So there was like a green howlite, a blue howlite, and then like a gold stone. There was 2 onyx, and then like a tiger's eye. And that one's actually a malachite. That one's not a dyed. The one down in the other corner is a dyed howlite. But these ones I got in a kit, and I basically glued them in with resin, or like this epoxy stuff that was in the kit. Yeah. Let me see if I can zoom this out a little bit. That might make it a little better for me. I guess that is kind of better a little bit. Okay. Sorry, I am just like starting to use a camera because I've used my phone this whole time. I've never actually used a camera. So that is part of my problem. And plus this is my very first YouTube video, so everything's kind of really wonky. I don't really know how to do anything yet. So please just bear with me. Here down in the corner, this one is a shell that I just got in a pack of shells, and it's wrapped in, I think this is just gold colored coppered wire. This isn't actually the gold plated. And I wanted to put a tray on it, and in the tray is garnets. I should probably zoom in for that one. Come on, autofocus. There we go. And then this one up here, it was another piece from Mahaska's. It was another one of them like porcelain cab things, and it had this little like Asian girl or like Renaissance girl. I'm not really quite sure. I don't think I can zoom in anymore. Try moving the camera more forward. Oh no. There we go. But that's what it looks like. And of course wrapped in gold-plated copper wire. And I just really like how that piece turned out. And moving on up. Here are some more of them shells that I had on the other side. And they're all wrapped in gold-plated copper wire. They all look the same. These are actually really easy to make. That's why I have so many of them. Each one of them like probably took like 5 minutes to make. And they're really, really simple. That's why I like making them so much. This is a agate, I want to say. I think that's an agate. And it's wrapped in silver-plated copper wire. Because I love my copper wire, don't know why. And there's another one of my, I think that this one's just like a glass one. I don't think this one's actually stone. I think that one's just glass. Another one that I just made when I first started out. I just sell them for $10 just to try and get them out because I'm never going to make them again. Let me tell you, those suckers are just really hard to get rid of. And then here's one of my very favorite pieces. This mirror I got from Pahaska's again. And this was actually in a box that she was going to throw away. And I was like, oh, don't throw that away. I could totally use that. And she was really confused. And I was like, I can make a pendant out of that. She's like, okay, well, here, just have it for free. So I took it home, I wire wrapped it, and that's how it turned out. It's actually a pocket mirror. Like one of the old-timey, like, pocket vintage mirrors. And I don't know how she came by it. I think most of the stuff she gets there she got from auctions. So it's probably in like an auction box. But it came out pretty fantastic. And on the reverse side, I wrapped it in such a way it's reversible if you really wanted to wear it the other way too. But the other way, it's just like, it's mostly green with like some purple flowers on it. I should probably take these out of the cases. But it was hard getting them in there, so I don't ever plan on taking them out. And we are back to the beginning. So that is case 2. Alright. Now let's do some more trees. Now to start off, I am going to show you this tree. This one is one of my favorite minis because it has my favorite stone in it. It has moonstone in the branches, and it's sitting on top of this like robin's egg blue and pink stone. I don't know if you can see the pink in there. I think it's called ruby and fuchsite, if I'm not mistaken. And it is just gold colored copper wire. It's not actual gold wire because, again, I'm not going to use gold on my trees. That's a waste of wire, first off, and it's expensive, second off. And my budget can't really hold that just yet because I do have 2 daughters. And it does have moss and is on a birchwood base. Now, these 3 are the very first trees that I had ever made, you guys. Ever. So, the first one I made was, I think, this tree. And you can see it doesn't have any stones on it. It looks like it was made with a bunch of like really scrappy wire. If my camera will focus. It looks like it was made with a bunch of really scrappy wire. And this is a stone that I just found outside in the river when me and my family were walking through the woods one day. But I did secure it on here because I didn't want it to fall off. And this is what I came up with. Now, I am still proud of this because it was one of my very first trees that I ever made. I didn't experiment with moss or anything yet. And it's really just a progression piece more than anything else. But I am still very proud of it. This is really just for like myself, but I also don't have any like it's not valuable to me. I don't have any like sentimental attachment to this. So if you guys did want to buy it for whatever reason, I don't know why you would, but you definitely could. Then this is my second tree. And this one I did better. And this one, for whatever reason, I thought if I used longer wires, it was going to make the trunk thicker. I have no idea why I thought that, and it didn't occur to me till after I had finished doing this piece that I needed more wires or like a thicker gauge wire in order to make the trunk thicker. Now again, this is also when I was just starting to make wire trees, so I didn't really think through any of these first trees. I just kind of did them, and looking back on it, you're just like, now why would you think that? Like, seriously? Like, that was a really dumb thing to do. But, you know, at that time I was just experimenting. And this is made out of like aluminum wire, so it's not like it costed me a whole bunch of money or whatever. And it was just like off of an extra spool that my mother-in-law had. And so like, it, you know, it was worth it to me. It was before I started putting the stones in the branches, but for whatever reason, I don't know if I can get it to focus. For whatever reason, I did not secure any of these down except like 2. Why would I not do that? I have no idea. So, if you could have the little bit, the ittiest of inklings as to why I would have done that, please leave a comment in the description box. So yeah, these 3 trees are really just for me to be like, you know what, you have come a very long way. Look, you should be proud of yourself. And this is the like 3rd tree that I've ever made. Now, for whatever reason, I did not, let's see if I can make this focus again. There we go. I did not like do the branches, because like on the first tree, I didn't want the branches to be poking anybody. So I rounded them off. I'm not sure if you can see that. I rounded them all off. See? Right there. Gosh darn it. How do I keep my camera from going out of focus? Please teach me. I would love your wisdom. But see, I didn't want it poking anybody, so I rounded them off. Now, on my other 2 trees, I didn't do that. Why didn't I do that? No idea. So, like, these branches still get caught on stuff, and I just started experimenting with moss, and on this tree, most of the moss fell off, and some of it I had pulled off because I wanted the stone to show more, because it is on a bloodstone. Stop it. And this one is more secure. Like, I secured it really well for at that point in time. Can you stop? There. Maybe if I move those out of the way, it'll focus on this more. There we go. Yeah, but I did secure this down a lot better than I did the other ones. So, I learned that mistake. But I just couldn't figure out the moss problem. Because I wanted the moss to, like, look like it was under the tree. Like how a normal tree would have grass on it. And I wanted it to look more like grass. Well, that's where all of these trees come into. And I learned my lesson very quickly on how to make these into the trees they are now. Because what me and my husband used to do was every year we would go out and cut a Christmas tree down. And we would cut a slab off of the bottom of the trunk to basically, and we would run on our first Christmas or our second Christmas or whatever as kind of like a keepsake, and we would basically turn it into like another Christmas ornament. And it was one of these slabs that I had used. It was an extra slab, you guys, so I didn't like destroy an ornament for these projects. But I cut off a slab of the tree, and instead of turning it into an ornament, I put it on the bottom of a tree. And that changed the whole deal, you guys. That's how I figured out how to put the trees on the bases. See if it'll focus. And then I would put the stones underneath it, like this one. It's a carnelian tree, gold colored tree. I'm not sure if you can see the quartz under there. No, that's not quartz. That's amethyst. Amethyst in the roots. Not sure if you can see that, but up close you can definitely tell it's an amethyst. Cameras do not do these justice, y'all. But it's a carnelian tree with an amethyst in its roots, with moss and a birch base. This is another carnelian tree, but this one is silver colored, and it's on like a robin's egg blue. This one is not a ruby and zoisite. I don't see any like pink or whatever in the stone. It's just like a greenish blue stone. It really does look like a robin's egg. And again, it's on a birchwood base. Oh gosh. I think it turned out fantastic. I think all my trees turn out fantastic, at least for the time being. This one is a metallic black tree. Come on. Metallic black tree with garnets in the branches, and it's sitting on quartz. Not sure if you guys can see that. Sitting on quartz shards with moss and a birch base. Let's just assume from now on that all my trees are on birch bases, because for the most part they are. So I don't have to keep repeating that. This one is a peridot tree, gold colored, and it's sitting on a selenite, half of a selenite sphere. Now, what happened with this sphere, you guys? This was my daughter's sphere, because whenever I buy a stone, my daughter also gets a stone, because she's like, at the time she was like 2, and whatever mommy did, Nettie had to do. So she got a sphere because I got a sphere. I got the labradorite sphere that I put on the other tree that I showed you guys with all the little spheres in the branches. I got that sphere, so she got this sphere. Now, what happened, you guys, is she was 2. So she would bash it on stuff, and finally it broke. And what I didn't realize with selenite is it breaks into shards, and the shards can be very sharp. I didn't realize that when I bought it for her, because again, I was just getting into stones, and I didn't know much about certain stones, and selenite was one of those stones. So when it broke into shards, I thought, oh my god, did I just get my daughter a glass ball and it just shattered? No, that's just how the stone is. And I freaked out a little bit. So when her stone broke, I gave her another stone to replace it. And she learned that she can't be bashing her stones into the walls and stuff because they would break. Because stones are stones. They're not indestructible. But I had these 2 halves of the stone sitting in a box for a while because I didn't know what to do with them. And then when I started making these trees, I was like, I could totally use that. And like, that's what all the marks are on this stone, is where my daughter had bashed it and bashed it and bashed it. But I think it gives it a little more character, because it is on like a delicate tree now. It's not going to get bashed up. It's not going to break anymore. So I don't see any reason that I couldn't use it. So that's what happened with that. This is the other half of that stone. Same stone, same sphere, different tree. And that's one of the ways that I like to basically upcycle my stuff. Because I like to take broken things and make them whole again, basically. I really do. Sometimes I just like to recycle. I don't like to throw stuff away. Now, if it's really broken, like so broken, like a plate shattered or something, then of course I'm going to throw it away, but just certain things, I can use them for different projects, and that's what I like to do. This is a Slentate sphere with a silver colored tree on a birchwood base, and these are goldstone beads that I put in the branches. And I think it turned out really good. It's like a little good fall tree. Like sitting on a moon, maybe. That's a good thought. Sitting on the moon. Then, I went through a phase where I had to buy elephants. Had to buy elephants. I saw these things online, and I just went crazy, and I bought a whole bunch of them. You saw the moonstone elephants, the opalite elephants I had in the case on those 2 pendants. But I went and bought a whole bunch of them. So this one is a rose quartz elephant. Let me see if I can, oh my goodness, get it closer. Yep, it's a rose quartz elephant with a gold tree and amethyst in the branches. So yeah. This one is a adventuring elephant. If I can get it focused. Adventuring elephant with lapis in the branches. And I don't know if I can get, can you see those flecks of gold in the branches? No, not on camera. Alright. But that, trust me, that's lapis in there. It's not solidite. Then I also have this pink elephant, another rose quartz elephant, gold tree with mucolite in the branches. Kids next door banging on stuff. Gotta love them. But yeah, I absolutely love how these turned out. And then I saw these on like a lawn henna tutorial, and I just had to make these. I made this one first because these were the kind of beads that all matched. You can tell that I put more thought into this one because it was going to be my first one. And that's how it came out. This one is like that. I had extra beads, so I put them in the claws. But these ones didn't match. These are just the leftover beads that I had, so I had to use them up somehow. But I actually really like how these turned out. I thought they turned out really cute. Yeah. And then I also have things like this dragon skull. Well, it's not really a skull, it's like an organite dragon head, really. But I wire wrapped it. I'm not sure if I can get up closer with the wire wrapping. There we go. wire wrapped it so that it's not coming off, you guys. Not coming off. Just holding it by the bottom rings, not coming off. I wire wrapped it good. Now what this is going to do is I am making a chainmail dress. And what's happening is I'm going to mount this on my shoulder. Crazy, I know. It weighs like 20 pounds. And that thing's just going to be sitting on my shoulder. Hopefully, I am going to get to wear this to the Ren Fair. But I don't make any promises this year because of everything that's going on. I'm really sure that they're just going to close the Ren Fair because of the coronavirus. So even if I don't get to wear this to the Ren Fair, I'm definitely going to wear it to work on Halloween. And then I also have this that I'm working on. I keep it all in a nice tray because it's easier to transport, easier for me to keep track of everything. And yes, my daughter decided that I needed to have a little more color on this thing and put M&Ms all over it. Just get them off there. There we go. Oh no, I missed one. Just set it over there for now. But this is basically my pride and joy right here. This is all 14 gauge stainless steel dragon mail. And I don't know if anybody that's watching this has done anything with A, dragon mail, or B, 14 gauge stainless steel, but it is incredibly hard to work with. I can't even begin to tell you how hard it was for me to get this far in this chainmail adventure, odyssey I should say. But what this is, not sure if you can see. It's going to be the chest piece. So what it's going to do, this piece is actually going to wrap around. And it's going to be like the bra of the dress. And it's going to come across the chest like this. And then I have another piece of scales that is basically going to come at the opposite angle and going to fill in these little gaps that I have down here and like kind of frame it in a little bit. And then this piece right here, this shoulder piece, I'm going to attach to this dragon head. So it's going to look something kind of like this. And dragon mail is extremely hard to work with, people. But I am very, very proud of this. You have no idea. And then to go on with this, I do have the scale mill part of it in this box over here. This piece is freaking wicked, people. I absolutely love this piece. Now this, I didn't like combine it all the way. I just did it enough to where I can put my arm through it and see how this is going to lay. But yeah, it looks pretty BA. And then right here on the shoulder, or upper arm I should say, I had found this piece. It was actually a keychain, but it is made out of metal. I'm not sure what kind of metal, but I found it in a junk drawer. And when I put it in my like scrap pile, because I have like this little bin that I put all my scrap stuff, and I was like, I should melt this down, but it's so pretty, maybe I should just leave it as a keychain, I don't know. And then when I started doing my scale mail, I was like, I want that piece in my mail. And so I put it in my mail. And it looks totally BA. I absolutely love it. And I love how it kind of disconnected the scale mail a little bit, but it's still chain mail. And it's inlaid in there. And it's not coming out. I absolutely love how it turned out. And yes, I still have a lot more work because there's the back. I'm not sure if I can make it lay flat or not. Probably not right now. There. There it is a little bit. But yeah. It's going to look incredibly BA, you guys. I am absolutely thrilled at how it's turning out. See, and it's going to basically like kind of overlap, but like combined into like right down here. Basically, that's basically what's going to be like that. But I'm going to tweak it some so it actually lays flat and combines into each other perfectly. So now just imagine this top on, now I have to move the camera. Just imagine this top on this dress. I had to specially make this mannequin, A, because it's not my actual size, so that's why there's foam in it, but also because it's made completely out of chainmail links.
Yeah, both of I saw.
And that's full Persian. It's made out of full Persian links and leather. Now this, I'm very proud of this piece right here. This piece I made all by hand. It's all wire wrapped together. And then I also had sealed it with some epoxy so that it's definitely never going to come apart. And it's that. And then these dragons, these I had to get help with because I am not able to draw anything except like maybe a stick figure. So my brother-in-law, Asher Dowell, he drew this out for me. You need to check him out on Instagram and Facebook because he is mad. He has mad skills. But he drew that out. He just sketched it, and then I painted it. he sketched it out on a piece of paper, and then I traced it onto the leather. And there's a big thank you to my dad, because my dad is the one who knows everything there is to know about leather. He's an expert, and I absolutely love him. But he's the one that helped me make the leather belt and helped me get all these little pieces sewn in. This is a bismuth geode. If you remember from my first case that my second case, I think, had the bismuth geode in it. I'm a big fan of bismuth. My daughter is too. And I put a bismuth geode on both sides of this dress. And I could not put any epoxy in either one of these, because if you put epoxy in bismuth, it changes the colors, and it just turns it all gold. And that's not something that I really wanted to do for my bismuth. Okay, and last but not least, I have all the stuff that didn't really fit into a category, but kind of did, and I just forgot about it because I just found another case. But I did want to bring attention to this necklace that I am wearing. I made almost all the parts of this necklace. And when I say almost, I can't make labradorite, and I can't make clasps. At least not these ones that I used. But I did do all the Byzantine chainmail. If it'll focus. I did do all the Byzantine chainmail. And then I also did the scale mail. And I attached it with these like bronze copper colored rings. And then I wire wrapped this labradorite myself. Not sure if you can see the weaving on that. Come on, focus. This camera really does not want to focus now, does it? Maybe if here. But yeah. This is one of my favorite necklaces that I have ever made. And I do like to wear it a lot. Now here is another tree. Hasn't been put on a base yet, but I do have a base in mind. And these are not real pearls, they're just faux pearls, and what I believe is called cotton candy quartz. I don't know why it's not focusing. But it's like blue and pink pastel colored quartz crystals. Why won't it focus? My camera just hates me, you guys. Okay. See, but it's like blue and pink, cotton candy quartz. And then I just have like some random beads and stuff. One with like a trap crystal in it. One that looks like that. One that looks like that. But I thought it was cute, so I have this big shell that I'm going to put underneath it. I'm going to make it kind of look like a beachy scene because of all the pearls and stuff. I think it's going to turn out great. I might make a video on how to put the base on or whatever. Now this chain is not mine. I got this online. But I did make the pendant. This pendant isn't for sale because it is my daughter's because she really wanted something of mine. And focus this. There we go. Now this is one of my first pendants that I ever made. It's a rainbow quartz. Back is not pretty, guys. Even I had a stepping stone process. For those of you who think that I'm some fantabulous wire wrapper, like I'm some expert, I'm really not. Cause, oh, excuse me. Cause I have just as much room to grow as anybody else. And then, this is one of my favorites from a long time ago. This wasn't one of my first things that I did, but I guess technically it was. But what I did was, I went to Hobby Lobby, which is a store here in Mount Vernon, and got a bunch of cheap wire because it was time for my wedding back in 2016. And in 2016, I was really big into chainmail, and I really wanted a Renaissance wedding because I have just always been in love with Renaissance and kings and queens and princesses, and you know how us girls get sometimes. We just can't help ourselves. But what happened was I made my bouquet and my veil out of chainmail. I handmade all of the groomsmen, boutonnieres and the bridesmaids, what are they called? Corsages. I handmade them all by myself with no help from anybody because basically I planned and did my whole wedding by myself. I bought everything. Nobody bought anything for me except my mom made some of the centerpieces, and her and my dad also made the arch that we got married under. And my mother-in-law helped a lot because no one can do a whole wedding by themselves completely. So my parents did help a little bit, but since they were in Tennessee, they really couldn't help a whole lot. But what they did do was really great. You can look on my Facebook at all my wedding pictures, and holy crap, it was a fabulous wedding. We got married at the Ravenwood Castle. But anyways, this is my wedding veil. This is what I look like when I walk down the aisle. It's all European foreign one and sterling silver 3/16 rings So he actually could not see my face. And then I wire wrap the crown. And it's basically just 2 wires twisted together. 2 wires just twisted together, and then, let's see if I can focus. Nope. Oh. Let's try the other way. And then our wedding colors were green and purple. His favorite color is purple, my favorite color is green. So that green and purple have basically been like our go-to colors for everything for our wedding. And then, like, of course I had to have silver in there because chainmail is silver. But all that detail, this thing alone probably took me a good 3 months to make. And like it's all like inlaid green and purple, and the bottom I don't know if you can actually tell, but it's like a layer, 1 row of purple, 1 row of like a metallic black, and then another row of purple and metallic black, because I wanted a little bit of variety in it. But this thing is wicked, and I will never part with this, like, ever. I can make you your own, but it will cost you a lot, because it cost me a lot, and I'm the one that made it. And then with the leftover rings that I had, I made just another, like, almost like veil. It's just like a sheet. And these are all the 3/16 sterling silver rings that, you know, didn't make it into the veil. But I also didn't want them laying around, like, individually, because at the time my older daughter was 2, and she was still putting stuff in her mouth, and I didn't want her eating any of my rings. So if they're in a big thing like this, she can carry around a big thing of chainmail, put it in her mouth all she wants if she wanted to, and it's not going anywhere. It's not going to break. She can tug on it, because chainmail's really sturdy. That's one of the reasons why I love it so much. But yeah. So that's how I store those. So if I wanted to take them off individually, which, like, right here I have, I'm not sure if you can see, but like right here there's like a piece missing, I just take them off individually. Or if I wanted like a big sheet, like a big part of it off for like a project or whatever, if I was making a bracelet or whatever, I can just take off a big sheet and it's already done. Look at me thinking, who knew? But yeah. And then my other favorite thing that I've been wearing this whole video too, this was a Yvonne Williams tutorial. You have got to watch her. Oh my gosh, she is so good with people in front of a camera, and she's fantastic. I absolutely love Yvonne Williams. But this is my dragon eye bracelet I made out of one of her tutorials. I painted the dragon eye myself, and the colors are like a red, blue, and I think goldish silver is in there too. I don't know if I can get any. There we go. But yeah, And then I also wanted it to be a little more steampunk like she had in her video. So I put gears in it. While I wrapped the dragon eye to a gear. Now these pieces are a piece of Pahaska's. It was on like a bracelet and there's 5 of these. And I wanted to incorporate these things on this bracelet and I think they turned out lovely. Because they're not too much to where you can still like appreciate the rest of the bracelet. And it is kind of hidden back there. So, like, if you were to turn your hand around or something, it would still be pretty. It wouldn't be too bland. But this in itself took like a whole week's worth of work of me sitting there and just working away on it. Now, at the top of it, I have these 4 rings. Which, in hindsight, I should have put 5 rings on there. Because I have 5 fingers, not 4 fingers. Yeah. And with this, with it being on my arm like this, I have also made some scale mail. Because to make it my own, and to go with my whole dragon dress, Mother of Dragons cosplay thing that I've been doing, which I say Mother of Dragons, and if you didn't notice that the inlaid on my arm is actually the Targaryen crest. Now, I'm not trying to go as Daenerys Targaryen. I'm thinking of like maybe an older cousin to like Daenerys who still has a dragon or had a dragon or something, because I have like this whole backstory on this cosplay. But I wanted it to look like I'm either turning into a dragon or like I'm like still grieving over I lost my dragon or whatever, and I still have like parts of him in my armor, kind of. I'm not quite sure, I haven't ironed out all the details, but like I wanted to, gosh darn it, I wanted to attach these scales to the bracelet, and then like do some chainmail rings to attach the scales to my fingers. And the scales themselves have gears on them. And I love how they're all different colors because, I mean, that's kind of what I wanted anyways. If you didn't notice, I had black, orange, and blue scales on my other armor. But these scales match the bracelet a lot better than just the black, blue, and orange. And that's what I was doing with that. Because I am a chainmail fanatic. I absolutely love how it looks. I love everything about it. I love how sturdy it is. How it's not going to break easily. Yeah. And then, I did say that I had another case, didn't I? So, may I present to you my other case? And then zoom it in just a little bit. Not that much. But yeah, this jumble of mess right here. These are all like beaded lanyards that I had made a while back. and just never got around to selling them. I put them nicely in this case, and then this case just kind of got jostled around and everything just fell apart. So now I'm trying to put it back together. I have one lanyard here that has like these nice blue beads on them, and they are like dyed agate, and they were marketed as turquoise beads, but I'm pretty sure they're just like turquoise colored, maybe howlite beads. And then there's some black and purple beads. Black and purple beads. Some green. Yeah. This one's a good one. These beads are kind of grody, so I'll definitely clean those up before I sell it. If I end up selling it. If there's no cleaning up the beads, I can't. No one wants something with grody beads on it. But here is one that's blue and green and white a little bit. I went through a phase where I wanted to bead lanyards. Don't know why, just did. Here's a really long one that started out. Here's a really long one that started out blue and black, and then it went to white and red and black, and then red and black. And then just black. And this one started the same way, except this is white with some blue. And then red and black. Blue, red, and black. Yeah. And then just blue and red, blue. And then here's one where I found these really neat wooden beads at Packetans, because that used to be my craft store to go to here in Mount Vernon until they were bought out by Michaels and they closed. But it was my go-to craft store for anything, because in Mount Vernon the only craft store there is here is Walmart. And who goes to Walmart to get craft stuff unless you're on a really low budget? But I'm not being judgmental, I'm just saying there's not a whole lot of craft stuff at Walmart. Unless you like doing the kits and stuff, and I don't particularly like doing that. I like mostly wire work. They don't have a large selection of wire, and what they do have, it's mostly like aluminum or like non-tarnishable wire, which I'm not hating on that because I use it in some of my projects, just not my jewelry, for the most part at least. And then I have some sterling silver rings. This one is a garnet. I know it doesn't look like it. Let's see if I can get it any closer. Oh my gosh. Get it any closer, more focused in. It's not going to focus in any more than that. No, it's not. But that's what that is. My arms are getting tired holding stuff up to the camera. But yeah. there's that weave on it. Which all these rings are pretty much the same weave, just a different stone. Like this one's a moonstone. My favorite stone, moonstone. Same weave. I just love the flash in that moonstone. And this piece is, I think this one's just a glass piece. It's like a blue, like a really dark blue, like a sapphire blue, but I think this one's glass. I'm not sure, I might need to go get it checked. Same weave. This one is a size 6, so I still can't wear it. This one is just so small that my 6-year-old daughter's pinky is the only finger that can fit in it. So, that one's actually, I guess I was just going to make that one just like a charm. You know how some people like to wear the rings around their necks? Just making one of them necklaces. This is like a peridot colored, maybe glass, faceted stone. Peridot colored. It's the same weave. And then I have some of my first, this is the first ring that I ever made. It's an onyx stone bead. And I kind of wrapped it in a way where it kind of spiraled around your finger. I can't wear this anymore because my fingers are fat. That's what having a baby it kind of does to you. Plus I also had preeclampsia on top of that, so it was really hard to get back down on the weight because of all the water weight I was carrying around, and it really sucked because I was in constant pain all the time. This one is also an onyx for the main stone, but it has a freshwater pearl, and I'm pretty sure it's called apatite, going all the way around it. This is a different weave, but I'm pretty sure this is like a size 9 because this one still fits me. And right now I'm wearing a size 9 ring. It is pretty chunky, so unless you're into that stuff, this one is probably not for you. But yeah, I think that's all I have to show you for now. That's pretty much everything I've accomplished. But yeah, that's pretty much all I accomplished so far. And it's just a bunch of stuff basically laying in display cases all over my room. And I need some help getting rid of it, you guys. So if you want a piece, see something you like, and just send me a text message or get a hold of me through Facebook or Instagram. I'm under JD Wax, JD, J as in Jasmine, D as in Dennis, W as in William, K as in Kaniki, and A as in, hang on, I just misspelled it. My own company, I just misspelled the name. J as in Jasmine, D as in DJ, or Dennis, W as in William, A as in Abigail, K as in Kaniki, and S as in Shelby. So that's my Instagram and my Facebook page. So just shoot me a message on there if you see this video and you want to buy something from me. Don't ever hesitate, because I really want to get this stuff out of my house. I'm not being ungrateful or anything, but it does take up a lot of space, and so I really need to get rid of it. And the more I can get rid of, the more stuff I can actually make, more projects I can make, and I just want to make more projects. The one big project that I'm working on right now is that chainmail dress, and I've got a huge part of it done because of the quarantine, but other than that, I'm really not working on a whole lot. So if you have any ideas for any videos that you might want me to do, please do not hesitate to comment on that video or send me a message or whatever. So I guess this is the end. So I guess I'll see you for another time. Stay smiling. Have a good day. Also, one more thing before I go. I forgot about this big bad boy. It's my biggest tree of life I've ever made. And it's basically a wall hanging, if you can call it a wall hanging. Maybe you can hang it outdoors if you really want to. But this thing is massive. I made it out of one of those, I don't know what kind of chair it was. It's one of them that has like the fabric in it. The round fabric chairs, you know what I'm talking about? I'm sure you do. I bet you I can link something over here and show you exactly what kind of chair it is. But I basically cut off all of the fabric on this chair and put it down to its bare bones. And then I took a saw, like one of them, it wasn't a regular saw, one of the power saws, and basically cut off all the legs on it, and I just used the metal frame to make this incredible tree of life. I also made this at the same time I made my midsection piece in leather in quarantine. Believe it or not, had a lot of time in my hands in quarantine. But this thing is just as big as, like, from my hip to, like, my chin right now. So it's pretty big. I just wanted to show this off while I was showing off everything else, so we wouldn't miss it. Alright, have a good day.